Welcome back from the story, friends. Again, taking another look at our I can statement for today. I can use the race strategy to answer questions about a story. Yesterday, when we read Moustache, we focused on the first two letters of our race strategy, which was first to restate the question and then to answer the question. Today, we're still going to restate and answer the question. We're going to add C, which is cite text evidence. And that just means finding the page in the story or the part of the story that helped you answer the question. And E, explain your evidence choice. And you're going to explain how that part of the story helped you answer the question. Let's take a look at the question we answered yesterday about Moustache. Now remember, yesterday we just restated and answered the question. So the question was, what is the problem that Moose has? We started by restating the question. We said, the problem that Moose has is that his moustache is too long and messy. Well, now we need to add C, cite text evidence. So I'm going to look back in the story and I'm going to find the part of Moustache that told me what the problem was. And I found the page. It says Moose had a problem, a horrible, hairy, prickly problem. It grew right below his nostrils and just above his upper lip. Right, and then in the story it goes on to say, now, not a few spare hairs or shy little stubble, no mere weak wandering whiskers on the upper lip of this moose. No siree. Moose had a big, bushy, bristly, mighty moustache, but a moustache that was burly, surly, mangly mess, and it itched a lot. Okay, so we know Moustache has a problem. Moose has a problem. It's his moustache. He does not look too happy about it. Now, this story doesn't have page numbers on it, and since you friends are just watching Mr. Mac read the story, it may be difficult for you to go find the exact part of the story where your evidence was. So for your seesaw mission, you can just use the beginning, middle, and end. Was your evidence towards the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the end of the story? In my case, my evidence was right in the beginning of the story, right in the first 2 pages. We found out what the problem was. So I found my text evidence, and I know it's in the beginning of the story. So I'm going to add in the beginning of the story, and there's my comma, there's my pause, right? I took a breath. In the beginning of the story, comma. Now, a lot of times, your C, citing text evidence, and explain can come in the same sentence. Because look, I already cited my text evidence. I already said where in the story I found it, in the beginning of the story. So my C is done. Now I have to move on to E. I have to explain how the beginning of the story helped me to answer the question, what is the problem that Moose has? So now, how do we know from this text evidence that we found in the beginning of the story that Moose's moustache is a problem? How do we know it's a problem? Well, it says it's bushy, it's bristly, it's mighty, it itched a lot, it's a mangly mess, and using the pictures, Moustache does not look, if we scooch him up to you here, Moustache does not look very thrilled. Mr. Moose does not look very thrilled about his moustache. So for my explanation, I think I'm going to include this last part here. All right, was that it itched a lot. Because for me, that would probably be the biggest problem if I had a big moustache. I wouldn't want it to be itchy. So I'm going to add my E, going to explain how my text evidence, the beginning of the story, helped me answer the question. What is the problem that Moustache has? All right, let's reread what we've written so far. The problem that Moose has is that his mustache is too long and messy. In the beginning of the story, his mustache itched a lot. All right, friends, so let's take another look back at our race poster and let's make sure that we have each of our letters. R, restate the question. The problem that I keep calling him Moustache. His name is Moose. He has a mustache. The problem that Moose has is that, and look right there, I already restated the question. The problem that Moose has is, I already restated the question. You're already going to be able to tell what the question is right there. Now let's see if we answer the question. That his mustache is too long and messy. Now we've answered the question. We've restated it. We said the problem that Moose has is, I think there was a breath there. I'll stick a comma in there. The problem that Moose has is that his mustache is too long and messy. So we've restated and answered the question. Now let's look for our C, cite text evidence. In the beginning of the story. Boom, let's freeze right there. That's our text evidence. We said where in the story we found the answer to the question, right? In the beginning of the story. Now finally, we have to make sure we have E, explain your evidence choice, which is going to be to explain how that evidence in the beginning of the story helped us answer the question, right? In the beginning of the story, his mustache itched a lot. So because his mustache itched a lot, that helped us answer the question, right? That helped us know that it was a problem because it itched a lot. So we have all four parts of our race. We restated the question when we said the problem that Moose has is. We answered the question when we said that his mustache is too long and messy. We cited text evidence when we said in the beginning of the story. And we explained our evidence choice when we said his mustache itched a lot. All right, friends, so now your seesaw mission today is going to be to answer this one question about the story that we read today. I've used all my pocket change. And the question says, why does Lola ask to borrow Charlie's camera? When you answer this question, you're going to make sure that you include all four parts of our race poster. And you can see a picture of the race poster on the next slide. And to help you when you're citing your text evidence, let's take another look at the pages where Lola asked to borrow Charlie's camera. Let's reread it. When we get to the zoo, Granny and Grandpa say we can look at any animal we want. I say, Lola, look at the giraffes. Ooh, they're especially good, says Lola, but my clicky camera is completely filled up. Charlie, please, can I borrow yours? So that should help you when you are citing your text evidence and explaining your text evidence choice. Now, to help you cite where in the story you found this text evidence, again, this story doesn't have page numbers either, but think of when this happened, right? Which says when we get to the zoo, right? They just got to the zoo. But also, some other things have happened in the story already. Let's back up a couple pages. They already fed some ducks. They had to drive to the zoo. And even before that, they had to get ready to go, part of which was taking a bath. Right, so I wouldn't say this was the very beginning of the story. And we know that a lot took place after Lola borrowed the camera, so I wouldn't say it was at the end either. So hopefully that'll help you when you are citing your text evidence and explaining your evidence choice. Again, you have the choice today to either use Race to answer this question in writing or upload a video using Race to answer this question. Tomorrow, friends, we will go on a scavenger hunt searching for some words that have our ow blend with OU and OW making that ow sound. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow.